Ooh, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the Stand Up Guys podcast, episode 43. I'm your host, Incomparable Zach Jones, joined as always by the Randy Hickey to my Earl Hickey, Lester Jones. Everybody remember that show? It was a decent
I like
show.
that show.
Yeah, it was a decent show, actually.
I pooped my pants. I pooped my pants.
And, of course, we got the Ninth Wonder, Chocolate Thunder. He respects the power of the majestic ham flour. He knows the appeal of the rusty wagon wheel, the Baron of Browntown, the Duke of Dukieville, the Ayatollah of Assahola, the phenomenal A.J. Singh.
Hey everyone, good to be here.
Loving that asshole. All right, guys. Any stories from the week or weekend? You guys do anything fun?
We went hiking.
Yeah, we went out to a public park, Oxbow Park in by Sandy, Oregon. Pretty nice.
All right. What you guys been watching?
Invincible. Finished the first season.
How did you like it?
I like it.
You like it a lot?
I'm looking forward to season 2.
Yeah, I thought that the overall arc went pretty well with the twist at the end. Mm-hmm. Like I said, a few episodes were maybe a little slow, but all in all, pretty good.
Yeah.
What about you? What have you been consuming as of late?
Oh yeah, I finished up. What's it called? I always forget.
Oh, Legion.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. There's 3 seasons on Hulu, so definitely worth a shot. It kind of depends on your mindset, I think, but I liked it.
Yeah, definitely an abstract show, but I liked it.
Yeah, you definitely have to be in the mood to be ready to pay attention because it will confuse the crap out of you if you're not engaged.
Yeah, it is one of those shows that you can't just do they call what dishwashing shows or laundry shows where you can be doing something else and still get the gist of it.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one of those. You do gotta pay attention. Let's see. So on the video game front, I finally finished that remake of Ratchet and Clank from 2016. So that's a fun game. I will say the final boss battle, kind of a pain in the ass. I still beat it, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. And then I started on Amazon Prime a show called The Expanse, which is a sci-fi show that's... I know a lot of people have said it's really good, so I want to stick with it. I can't say that I'm hooked yet, but I'll definitely give it some more and see. I've probably watched 4 or 5 episodes of it.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. I think it's been around for a while, though. I've heard of it, but I've never watched it,
Yeah, I think it actually started, on the Sci-Fi Channel, and then, they were going to have to cancel it or something, so Amazon picked it up. One of those kind of situations. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it's a little weird, because they just kind of throw you into the world, and they give you a little bit of exposition up top, but I'm still a little, confused. But, basically, it takes place in, I think they say, the 23rd century or something, and they've invented space travel and expanding outwards, but somewhere along the way Mars became its own civilization, and now
by humans we colonized it?
We colonized Mars, but then when this show picks up Mars and Earth are Mars became this very militarized planet for some reason, and they're having problems with Earth. So they say there's been this Cold War going on, but now they might actually start warring with each other. And then on the Outer Rim or something, there's these people called Belters because they're on the belt of the galaxy or whatever. They are they go along asteroid belts, I guess, and
they call them asteroids.
And they farm for resources. They one of the big things is water's a big resource, so they farm ice.
Oh, they're not nerf herders.
But the thing is that I didn't get is these Belters are treated like third-class citizens, they're treated shitty or whatever. But I don't know. The show doesn't really explain why. And I don't really...
Just blue-collar people. That's how
I guess.
They're Okies or something.
So I don't know if it really does a good job, at least initially, of setting up the world and making people, easily understand it. But, I'll give it a little more time and see what I think.
What's it on?
It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay. Yeah, I might check it out. Let me see. I mean, that wasn't a rave review. I need stuff to watch. So.
I will say, I found the audio at least for this first season, like a little weird. Where I started watching it with subtitles because I found the audio a little bit like the dialogue a little hard to understand, and they also at points like they'll mix in like this alien language they made up with English, but they don't really ever like tell you that, they just do it, and so like if you're listening without subtitles, you'll be like, did he just say something in English that I didn't pick up? And it's like, oh no, he like put in this other like language, you know. But they like they'll start off a sentence sometimes in English and then like morph into that other language, and it makes it a little bit hard to understand.
Did you watch Firefly?
Yeah, I did.
They used to mix like Mandarin and English sometimes, and like other weird words. Like they would make like, "Oh, that's shiny" or something like that. You know?
Oh, yeah. It's been a while since I watched it. I did like it.
Yeah,
but I don't remember like the language and stuff they used in it.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
You know, I got to say, like, that's a show that if it, was playing in these days when it got canceled, it probably would have got picked up by an Amazon or somebody, to continue it. Like, shows are lucky these days where, like, if they get canceled, like, they do at least have a chance of getting picked back up by, like, another, like, streaming service or whatever. Yeah. But, man, back in the day, you get canceled, you're just canceled. You don't get no second chances.
Yeah, and so many shows that were good were canceled that way. I don't know. Even, like, they say now is the golden age of television, but I've heard someone else say it's the golden age of content because there's way more, like, stuff for people to watch than they can even keep up with, and not necessarily good stuff either.
Yeah, it definitely increases the motivation to only watch the good stuff.
Yeah, like, Netflix really, like, they have a ton of original shit on there, but like a lot of it is shit. Like,
yeah, their quality is definitely dipped.
I heard I haven't seen it yet, Jupiter's Legacy. People have been shitting on that show too.
Oh. Yeah, that's some. I've read that comic, and like the comic's fine. Like, it's not great, but it's fine. And I was curious about the show, but yeah, the same thing. I heard it kind of got panned reviews, and I'm like, well, maybe it's not worth committing my time to then.
Yeah, I watched a little clip of it. It looks like they put some money into it, but it's not really all there.
Yeah,
doesn't look great.
I think a lot of people are getting burnt out on superheroes a little bit.
I mean, I do like that. More independent comics are getting like their own adaptation, so you get a little more flavor than just the Marvel and DC stuff.
Yeah,
like that's I believe an Image comic, but yeah, I mean they're not all going to be good. I guess can't all be great. I noticed that. I don't know if you ever read that Sweet Tooth series by Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, for me too. Yeah, because I was reading it like closer to when it came out. I saw that they made a there's a trailer. I didn't watch the trailer, but that's going to be a Netflix show, so maybe that'll be all right.
Yeah, I do like him. I like he writes a lot of pretty interesting stories.
Yeah, I do really like Jeff Lemire as a writer. Black Hammer is a really great comic series that he did. All right, guys, should we get into this show? Start talking about whatever weird news stories we were able to squeeze out of the internet this week. As tradition dictates, AJ, we'll start with you.
All right, this one's going to break all of our hearts and make us question things. Indonesian woman who claimed miraculous sexless pregnancy revealed to be knocked up by ex-husband.
Oh, was that the wind one?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. We got an update.
Yeah, remember ZT Zaina, the woman from Cianjur, West Java, who said she got pregnant without intercourse and gave birth after a 1-hour gestation period? Turns out the pregnancy was only as miraculous as childbirth ordinarily is, with the father of the baby having come forward to claim her. In mid-February, the 25-year-old widow from Sidon district made a bizarre claim by telling local media outlets that she was lazing around in her living room when a gust of wind entered her vagina and impregnated her. After around 15 minutes, she said she felt pain in her stomach before it grew bigger, as if she was really pregnant. ZT then gave birth to a baby girl at a nearby community clinic shortly after. But her claims have been shot down by local officials as their investigation has revealed that CT was impregnated by her ex-husband, who identified himself with the initials MS. Her former husband has acknowledged his child. When news about ZT first broke out, authorities investigating the case had mentioned that ZT separated from her husband around 4 months ago. They have officially one child together, excluding the newborn. Herlin, who has revealed that the couple went to see a midwife before the separation to check to see if she was pregnant. However, the midwife wasn't able to confirm the status of the pregnancy at the time. Their lives went on as usual without any signs of ZT being pregnant until they decided to go their separate ways. Police have questioned both CT and MS during which it was concluded that CT was pregnant before the divorce was finalized. If CT genuinely didn't know she was pregnant, then she experienced what was most likely a cryptic pregnancy, as previously laid out by Iman Suleiman, the head of Sidwan's community clinic. It's a condition where the mother isn't aware of her pregnancy until she goes into labor, but there is still the possibility that CT made up the bizarre story to avoid the stigma of having a child out of wedlock. After all, CT is not the only woman to claim instant pregnancy in Indonesia in the past couple of years. For example, in July last year, a Tasikmalaya woman gave birth to a baby boy after a supposed 1-hour gestation period, while a self-confessed virgin said she gave birth to a magical baby after a 3-hour pregnancy in 2017. In the latter's case, the woman and her family refused inspections from authorities. So, if somebody tells you they're pregnant and there was no father, chances are they might be lying to you.
Now, to be fair, like, we don't know how hard this guy comes. He might be creating a gust of wind with every load. You never know.
Yeah, maybe he shot it from like next door.
Or maybe his name translates to the wind.
Yeah. Yeah, girls, I don't know. I'm sure this isn't just Indonesia. I'm sure it happens all over the world. I'm sure.
But like, in that country, obviously it's a religious thing, stigma or whatever. But I mean, why do they are doctors really entertaining these stories? Like, sure, yeah, the old 3-hour pregnancy.
I mean, yeah, the fact that authorities are like, we need to investigate this.
Sounds suspicious.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in America we'd just be like, no, that's false.
Religion makes people do kooky shit.
Yeah.
All right, should we go to Manifesto round one?
All right, round one. Going to start strong. Texas Go Topless Jeep weekend ends in nearly 100 arrests.
Go Topless Jeep?
What? Come on. I thought Texas was the freedom state.
Yeah.
The cops are like, finally, some good work.
Good work, boys.
I actually read it. It was disappointing that most of it was just drunk people. But I mean, like, if you're starting a party in your city, right, and you're starting to get this topless Jeep thing going, I mean, I'd be out there selling keychains or something. Like, cash in. Don't like fuck people over.
I like to think that they have like boob shaped handcuffs.
All right, you're coming with us.
Them fuzzy cuffs.
They got like a chain connected to the boob handcuffs, so there's just like a big chain gang of women.
So like, what? They just like ride Jeeps down like a certain street and just go topless?
I guess there's a beach, so they go out and they go down the beach and they drive around and do whatever during the day. And yeah, it's apparently Galveston.
Oh.
And then at night they have bonfires and party and stuff.
Galveston needs that, man.
Galveston does need something, man.
Exactly.
I haven't been there in a while, but it was it needed some help.
Yeah, I don't know why they're arresting these people.
Yeah, be like, hey, you want to buy some more beer?
Yeah, exactly.
Invite your friends.
Let's take pictures of this and put this on Facebook.
Yeah, let's make this a thing. Let's get like 1 million people down here every year.
Exactly. Start the tourism back up, man. That's crazy.
I mean, Galveston was interesting enough to have that boring song written about it. Galveston, Galveston.
I'm from Houston. I don't even know that song.
Yeah, I forget that there was a country guy.
I'm a bit ashamed that we lived in Houston. We didn't know about Topless Jeep Weekend.
Yeah, that's weird to me too.
That was in Houston?
Well, Galveston.
Galveston.
Next close. It's like an hour drive.
Is it like an annual thing?
Yeah, apparently. I don't know when it started. But yeah, it sounds like it's once a year.
Don't you think it is kind of crazy that in this day and age we still like stigmatize like women's breasts? Like a guy can walk down the street without a shirt on, but a woman can't. It seems like
The thing is, though, I think if like even if it was legal and you tried it, I think most women would end up feeling a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Most women wouldn't do it, but the fact that they can't is a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Also, like, how do they get away with it on like what is it, Mardi Gras or whatever, where like they're always flashing
Like
for the
apparently
beads?
they'll still they will arrest you.
Really?
Yeah,
They probably
like-
just agree to look the other way, I'm guessing.
Yeah, on
Well,
Bourbon Street they won't arrest you.
I think part of it's like the volume versus this, like
And also, like, who wants to be the cop that's like trying to arrest like a
Yeah.
woman in front of all those people because she flashed her like, no, thank you.
Yeah. You're the bad guy then.
yeah.
And it's not like I'm sure they're not like inviting the whole family to go walk Bourbon Street.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Bourbon Street has strip clubs too, you know, where strippers come out.
Yeah. Oh, they just come out.
Yeah, in the middle of the street.
Have you guys been to Louisiana before?
Yeah.
They have. I haven't. I didn't go.
I went a couple of times. I went for Mardi Gras. It was insane. Like,
Pretty wild.
just moving, it's hard. Like,
Oh, yeah.
going like down the street this way, it'll take you like half an hour to an hour.
I'd be like sick to myself in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I'd be trying to escape.
It's insane. And there's just drunk people, all drunk people. And they're just laid out, some of them. Some are just throwing up.
Just puke and piss everywhere.
This is
it's
the best.
it's still like a crazy time, you know. Everybody's just there to have fun, you know. There's lots of boobs, and I did a trick where like my friend, I would pretend it was his birthday, and girls would like kiss him. Like it's his birthday, help him out, you know.
And you weren't like, it's my birthday.
Look
I
at
don't
my
know.
boobs.
He was better looking than me. I felt like if it was me, I'd put those girls in a tough position.
But see, if he's good looking, he can get the kisses without it being his birthday.
Yeah, just an excuse for it to happen, you know. Just do that.
All right, was that all for topless Jeeps?
Yeah.
All right. I found this interesting. Pigs and rodents can breathe through their butts in emergencies. The recent study does make for a fun trivia fact. You've probably heard the expression when pigs can fly. Well, pigs can't fly just yet, but what they can do is breathe through their butts, according to a new study. Rodents and pigs have the ability to use their intestines for respiration, finds a study published in the journal Med. Artificial respiratory support plays a vital role in the clinical management of respiratory failure due to severe illness such as pneumonia or acute respiratory distress syndrome. Senior study author Takanori Takebi of the Tokyo Medical and Dental University. Man. And the Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Man. Oh, God. Hospital Medical Center said in a press release. Although the side effects and safety need to be thoroughly evaluated in humans, our approach may offer a new paradigm to support critically ill patients with respiratory failure. The researchers tested these animals' ability to breathe through their anuses by engineering an intestinal gas ventilation system to administer pure oxygen through the rectum of mice. Their study demonstrated that without the system, no mice survived 11 minutes of extremely low oxygen conditions. However, with intestinal gas ventilation, 75% of mice survived 50 minutes of normally lethal low oxygen conditions. Now the scientists are hoping their new system could be applied to humans, particularly during the pandemic. The recent SARS-CoV-2 pandemic is overwhelming the clinical need for ventilators and artificial lungs, resulting in a critical shortage of available devices and endangering patients' lives worldwide, Takabi said. The level of arterial oxygenation provided by our ventilation system, if scaled for human application, is likely sufficient to treat patients with severe respiratory failure, potentially providing life-saving oxygenation. Of course, the human respiratory system is far more complex than that of a rodent or a pig. It's also unclear how the researchers plan to apply it to humans. Will they literally be inserting oxygen through the anus? We can imagine that that is not an approach people will take kindly to. Still, the research makes for at least a fun trivia fact the next time someone decides to ask what animals can breathe through their buttholes. So I found it interesting not only that they can breathe through their buttholes, but that they're actually looking into applying it to humans.
Get to splicing those genes.
Man, I feel bad for those mice. They killed a few of them just trying to get them to breathe out their buttholes.
But I mean, they kill a lot of mice anyway. They experiment on mice all the time.
Yeah, that's what they do.
So they got pigs and mice to breathe out their buttholes.
But yeah, man. I mean, maybe we need to get in like the butt pipe market before this thing explodes.
I mean, you gotta have some sort of machine that pushes and pulls the air out from there, right?
Instead of a tracheotomy, you just have this pipe go up your ass.
you just got a tube goes around like a whole.
Get him the emergency tube. Maybe it would work. I don't know.
Too much.
But yeah, I thought that was a kind of a funny story. All right, that's it for that one. AJ, I'll send it back to you.
All right. Well, you mentioned people have done some interesting things to avoid, or in the name of religion. So this is like to avoid coronavirus also. We talked about how in America people were drinking bleach and stuff.
All right.
In India, people are smearing cow dung all over their bodies to ward off COVID-19 as a second crisis worsens.
To be fair, there seems like there's a subset of people that do this for
everything.
anything. Like I saw a video where a dude drank like a glass of cow piss. I was like, oh.
I didn't see a glass. I saw a guy drinking cow piss straight out of the cow.
Straight from the source.
Yeah.
I will say I will make sure to socially distance myself from these people.
Everybody keeps 6 foot, no problem.
So doctors in India are warning against the practice of using cow dung to ward off COVID-19. Same with cow piss, people. Some believers have been smearing cow dung on their bodies and hope it'll boost their immunity. And Hindus believe that cow dung has therapeutic and antiseptic properties. I mean, look, at this point, we can just say there's stupid people everywhere. That's what it comes down to.
Well, I mean, urine does have like some
like antiseptic properties.
Yeah.
I've heard.
What's
of
the other
that.
cleaner, not bleach?
Pine salt.
Vinegar? Like people use vinegar?
Anyway, there is like an antiseptic, like a small amount, yeah.
All right. Well, that's my topic.
Like, how bad would, like...
What's the one you're never supposed to mix bleach with because it makes mustard gas? God damn it.
Turpentine?
What would the death rate of a pandemic have to be to where they're like, if you smell or smear your turds on yourself, it'll like increase your chances? Like how deadly does the virus have to be before you'll go to that extent?
I mean, deadly, I guess, like
let's say it has a 5% death rate. It's going to kill 5% of the population.
Oh, no, I'm not rubbing shit on myself for that.
10%. That's pretty high.
Ammonia.
Ammonia.
Yeah, I don't know. 10% still not high enough.
10% versus smearing poop on yourself?
Yeah, I'd still take my chances at 10%, I think.
No, I do like one of those gross ass videos where people are swimming in a septic tank. 10%, that's high, man.
It is high.
It's pretty high, but having poop on yourself is bad.
Yeah.
That's gross.
I mean, you got to keep it on yourself 24/7.
The thing is, you'd have to get like vaccines before you even did it. Like, I need my Hep shots. I
need my poop vaccine before.
A little penicillin.
They show in that movie,
Okay, I'm ready to get healthy.
The Hills Have Eyes, where like one person dies in a porta potty.
Yeah, that's not a good way to go.
Yeah, no.
Like
Apparently,
Schindler's List, there's that kid hiding in the shitter.
Oh.
That's rough.
Yeah, same with what's that? Slumdog Millionaire. He falls in that.
Yeah, like
liquid shit.
Like he's locked in, and his only way out is through the hole.
No, that picture falls in the shit, and he like really wants that autographed picture of his favorite celebrity. Oh my god.
I did see that once, and I forgot about that part
Yeah.
until you just mentioned it. And then
Because
I'm
he
like, oh, yeah,
goes
he
in
did.
like into shit like up to his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the shit looked really realistic.
Authentic.
That's a believable pile of shit.
All righty. Should we go over to Manifesto round 2?
Oh, where am I? South Carolina governor signs bill requiring death row inmates to choose firing squad or electric chair. So which is it, you guys? Firing squad or electric chair?
Whichever's faster. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking the firing squad because there have been cases where the chair didn't kill people like the
On
first
round
time on round 1. And I think the firing squad is going to get the job done.
I mean, if like 7 out of those 8 guys are marksmen, yeah, you're probably pretty quick.
The guy's like, oh, let me go a little bit first. I'm going to shoot him in the dick.
They all shoot you in like random places.
I think non-fatal. Yeah.
You're like, it's really fucking hurts.
They all miss except for the dick guy.
They're like, we might not have failed. He could still bleed out. But yeah, apparently there's a shortage on like the injection drugs. So
I heard about they injected a guy because like his drugs were about to get expired. And,
we need to push this one through.
Yeah, hurry up and do it. And then it turned out like evidence suggested the guy was innocent.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Even that stuff.
Yeah, well, I saw, I think maybe it was like a John Oliver piece or something like a long time ago about lethal injection. And like they say like we think of it like as like a peaceful like euthanization, but apparently it really isn't. And there have been problems where like people did that and like didn't die right away and were like they said would have been in like severe agony for like a long time. So like shit goes wrong with that stuff too, and it's a horror story,
Yeah, and then sometimes they don't have the right chemical, so they like make their own concoction or something.
Bleach and ammonia.
Yeah.
Look out.
I guess I'd rather get shot than.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be shot.
I
wouldn't want to be hanged either because sometimes they don't like die right away.
I'd rather be shot in the head than the heart, though.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah. Oh, they shoot him in the heart.
Well, that's how it used to be. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'd rather be shot in the head. I think.
Yeah.
I'd also wouldn't want to be facing the squad. I'd want to be turned around.
Like surprise me.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to hear or see anything. You're just going to be standing there and then you'll be dead.
Yeah, because you don't hear the bullet until after it's already traveled, right?
Right. I think most of them have muzzle velocity going to be faster than sound. So.
Do you think the reason they have a firing squad is because it makes it easier on the people shooting that they don't necessarily know if their bullet was the fatal bullet?
Well, they said that was part of the thing, I guess. But, I mean, back in the day, I'm sure it was just a fairly cheap way to do executions.
All right. Was that it for that one?
Yeah.
The old firing squad. Australian woman allegedly wakes up with an Irish accent. It sounds like a case of foreign accent syndrome, which is rather rare. Imagine waking up one morning and speaking with a totally different accent. It would be terribly distressing after the first few moments of shock and awe. So much of ourselves is associated with how we speak. Our accents tell a story of where we're from, where we've lived, or who we are. So when 27-year-old Angie Yen from Brisbane, Australia, apparently woke up on April 28th to find out she'd lost her Aussie accent to an Irish one, her confusion was understandable. Yen posted videos of her new Irish lilt on her TikTok account, garnering thousands of views as she documented her experience. How did this happen, you might ask? Yen had her tonsils removed in April, and after then, her accent mysteriously changed. This isn't the first time that such a drastic change in accent has happened to someone. What Yen might be experiencing is called foreign accent syndrome, FAS. Someone with FAS may speak with an accent of someone from a different country or region, explains Medical News Today. FAS is typically caused by an injury to the central nervous system or after a head injury, stroke, or some other type of brain damage. It's extremely rare, with only approximately 100 people having been diagnosed with the syndrome since it was first discovered in 1907, reports Healthline. Other examples of FAS include another Australian woman who developed a French accent following a car accident, and one of the first documented cases happened to a Norwegian woman who developed a German accent after brain damage caused by shrapnel that hit her during World War II. People with FAS tend to not perfectly replicate the foreign accent. However, their new way of speech does tend to stick around consistently. In 2019, a study observing 49 self-reported FAS participants noted that the new accent stuck around anywhere between 2 months and 18 years, with a median duration of 3 years. There's no current cure for FAS, and it isn't harmful, but people who have it are urged to inform experts as soon as possible, as it can sometimes be a secondary side effect to another symptom. Typically, someone with FAS is referred to a speech therapist so that they can work on getting their old accent back. In Yen's case, we hope she gains her familiar Australian accent back, as is her wish. But I don't know, like, if it was a cool accent, I would want to keep the new accent. Like, if I had an Irish brogue, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm keeping it.
Yeah, but they said it's not really like a perfect accent, so she probably has like a shitty Irish accent.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of accents are like dependent on how you hold your tongue and your mouth. And so maybe you're just holding your face a little differently and getting a different sounds out of it.
Yeah, because she had something removed, right? Her tonsils?
Oh, she had
Her tonsils
but
removed.
you said the other ones were like frequently like brain damage.
Brain damage, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what would be funny is if it was like a racist voice, like a Chinese like accent.
Down syndrome.
I was thinking about like, oh, that's messed up. Yeah, I was thinking about like somebody who like wants to be black. They could just be like, "Oh, I have this."
You get that strong black scent going. It'd be funny though if like one of us had like a sassy black woman.
Did we talk about that movie?
Oh, yeah, I think we did mention that one.
Okay.
God, we should watch that. We
Yeah,
really
we
should.
really should watch that. Yeah.
If we ever have another movie night at your house, it's LaQuisha time.
All right.
I get such a bad end on these movie nights.
You might like it more than Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't like Mortal Kombat.
It actually might be a good for a good podcast review of LaQuisha. I watched the trailer once and I was like, "Oh my god, this thing has to be terrible." But
Yeah.
it looked funny as well.
Train wreck.
Would you have to like go and get on like Pirate Bay to download it?
It's probably one of those things that I'm sure is not streaming anywhere. I'm sure you have to like pay to rent it or something.
Oh, I don't want to give that guy any money.
You know, I think don't they say that like that guy that made The Room like he actually I think is pretty well off because like he like kept the rights to the movie or whatever, so like and it's always like, you know,
Yeah, it paid off eventually.
Yeah. It made him money. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, and that's sold like how many, you know, a lot of copies of people that just, you know, like bad movies or whatever.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he's probably pretty well off because of that movie.
Yeah. We bought a copy of it, so I mean, we paid him.
The thing is we could make like an intentionally shitty movie, but that's not where the magic is. The magic is where you're earnestly trying to make a good movie, and it turns out to be shit.
Yeah.
But then you have to have like a lot of like, you got to be unaware enough that you don't know that it's complete shit too. And I feel like if we tried to make something good and it was shit, we would know it was shit. But,
Yeah.
So it's a tricky.
You got to be
thing.
like disassociated.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, like if you got enough money invested in something, like you're gonna put it out no matter what to recoup, you know, whatever you can. So we can get in too deep.
I'm sure his initial losses were pretty good.
I don't know. I'm sure that movie didn't have like a huge budget,
A few million.
and it seemed like it became.
Apparently, like he had a lot of money to start with, and he dumped a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he had money from something, didn't he?
Yeah, some mysterious sources.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone completely knows his origin story because they kind of say he's like weird and like kind of dodgy about where he came from.
He doesn't talk about it.
Very, very interesting guy, I guess.
But the theory is he's Eastern European.
Yeah.
You'd almost think it has to be.
Yeah, because he's kind of got that accent, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that was it for mine. AJ, I'll send it back to you.
Okay. This one's a short one. It's like one sentence. But I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think of... Wait, so when I say sex tourism, what country do you think of?
Well, obviously Amsterdam.
Okay.
Or also like Singapore, Thailand.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going to go is, some of those like Asian countries.
Yeah, especially Thailand. Well, the Thai government confirms Pornhub and other major adult websites will stay blocked in Thailand to protect the good morals of their citizens.
They don't want you jerking off. They want you to go put your money in the economy.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, they're like, come to the sex tourism. You don't get to blow your load at home. You gotta...
I mean, the stuff that's on Pornhub is made in Thailand. That's crazy to me. Like, I did not know the Thai government, the Thai people were, like, conservative, I guess.
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
I really have no idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of countries that are, oddly conservative. Well, we talked about Japan, how like they make all this porn, but then they blur it out.
Yeah, that's true too.
Which is I find weird. So that's going to be some sort of
Well, didn't they do that in American stuff for a while? Or maybe that was just like the softcore stuff on TV or something random.
Softcore, I think.
I don't know. Blurring ding dongs.
It's so weird. Like. Like it's almost pointless.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna make porn. I mean, I don't know.
Like, are they getting paid less to not show their stuff? I guess. At that point, I wouldn't even care. I'd just be like,
at one point, I mean, there's obviously still a market. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very weird, culturally. But I don't know.
You imagine going to a porn store and be like, do you have any of that uncensored penis?
or you go to the porn store and you're like, do you have the real blurry stuff? That's what does it for me. I need a little mystery.
He's like, he shows his genitals.
Oh, man. So Thailand, keeping the people moral.
Yeah, except if you go outside and just look around.
I know there's one of those countries that's like Asian countries, maybe it is Thailand, that's almost famous for like the transgender prostitutes, right? Mm-hmm. It's Thailand. Like a whole cultural
You got to
thing.
check on under the hood first.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're like very like open about it and advertise like on the streets, like so you know what you're getting, like and people are into it. But I don't know. All right, manifesto round 3.
All right, moving on to the socialist downfall of America. 39 million families set to get monthly child tax credit payments starting in July.
California, right?
No, this is federal.
This is something that's passed? I haven't heard of it.
Well, okay, maybe it hasn't passed. It says it's part of Joe Biden's 1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package.
Oh, so it's probably something that's proposed but not passed yet.
It's like in the bill that's coming or whatever.
Oh, so there's a new package?
Yeah, because they were talking about doing the 4th round or whatever. Or 5th, or I don't know. I don't know what round we're on.
It'd be 3, right?
I think we've had 3 rounds. Because we had 2 this year, and then we had 1 last tax season.
Oh, yeah.
When it originally was all happening.
But yeah, I don't know. Waiting for all the inflation to come down the pipeline.
Well, what's the details on that? Like, if you had,
so it's like $250, $300 a kid per month,
but not like a permanent thing, just so many months or something.
I don't know if it has An end date listed.
Because I wouldn't think they would think they could pass something that was just, permanent or...
Increased through 2025.
Really?
I guess that's the proposal.
Man, I'm so glad that I transitioned out of doing taxes.
Oh, yeah.
This stuff just makes it so much worse. I mean, I worked last tax season when they did the initial stimulus, and it was just crazy. It caused such a headache that it was awful. Man. Yeah,
I always so when I look at TikTok and stuff, people always go off on TurboTax and those companies and the government, because they say they know how much we owe for taxes. They prefer for us to do it so that if we overpay, nobody tells us, and if we underpay, we get in trouble and have to pay it. Go to jail or something if we don't pay it. And then these TurboTax and all them they lobby to keep themselves as a middleman between us and paying the taxes.
Well, that's the thing is it's so complicated. You almost have to have some kind of system or personnel to take care of it for you. Otherwise, you're gonna break the law.
I mean, I've always speculated that companies like H&R Block, who I work for, and TurboTax and places like that. I mean, I have no proof of this, but I've always figured they probably lobby politicians to keep the tax laws complicated to keep them in business. But yeah, I think there are a lot of people where they could basically send them a thing where their taxes are almost basically filled out and be like, is all your basic, kids you're claiming and things the same as last year, and then, this is the sources of income we have that you work for the year. Is there any self-employment or something you need to add to it? But yeah, there's a lot of people that their taxes could probably basically be done, automatically. But, that's the way it is. It is, yeah, taxes are needlessly complicated in a lot of areas. Not a fun job if anyone out there is
If
considering.
you're thinking of a career, not taxes.
I mean, the only people I can really recommend it to, and I still probably wouldn't, is if you just happen to have other seasonal jobs that cover
Right,
most
so
of the year,
to fill,
but you need something in those months. Because I mean, it's okay pay for the
amount of
3.5 months you usually work, but goddamn, it's hard and it's stressful and it's you got to do a lot of continuing education each year leading up to tax season just to be able to do it. So it's a large time commitment that I don't feel is really worth it for anybody out there thinking about it. Now, going back, because you talk about socialism a lot
right, and economics,
and how you hate it. Now, have you come around at all on the subject? Because I feel like I'm basically capitalist everything except for healthcare, because I see a benefit in socialized healthcare. But you're not really for that either, are you?
I think the detriment probably outweighs the benefit in most cases.
Well, I've heard an argument that
I mean, there are enough people at the poor end of the spectrum where they can get enough free that it's to their personal benefit to vote for those systems, even if it's a detriment to society as a whole.
Well, I basically, heard a story that, all the COVID vaccines, those were all funded by taxpayer money to these companies. And then they're making, they turn around and raises the price enough so that they're making a profit. So they got all this money to make it, and now they turn around and, make all this money from it. And it's like, why don't we just have, people working for the government to make our drugs for us and keep the price down?
The thing is, who's going to innovate? Because governments are shit at innovating.
I mean, how do the other countries innovate? Are they all just stealing our medicines?
Probably in a lot of cases.
I don't know if I buy that.
China is most of their economic development. All their progress has been about stealing patents in everything.
I mean, but the thing we know for a fact is that the health insurance companies are making all of our medical expenses like 4 times what they should be.
Wait, who is?
All the medical insurance.
Well, insurance is definitely a middleman that's very strange, complicated,
and very
factor.
shitty.
I mean, I've heard that probably prices would be cut in half if they just didn't have to deal with insurance, because hospitals they have to spend so many resources negotiating and fighting with insurance companies, and it's kind of, but they're also set like they can't, turn people down in a lot of cases, and so it's just like it's really messed up.
Yeah,
I mean, really, that's the result of government interfering in a market. I mean, that's what we have right now. That's probably our most socialized, in a lot of ways, organization in American.
Well, if it's socialized anyway, I would much rather get rid of the health insurance companies and go for single-payer healthcare.
They shouldn't be gotten rid of, but it's like you're not going to fix that system.
Also, I don't know if I totally buy we can't innovate without market competition. I mean, because we would still be giving money
The
to
thing
people.
is, there's no incentive. There's no incentive there to innovate.
I mean, there's still money.
Well, if anybody will take money, of course, government, I mean, all these branches and everything, they always want more money, but luckily they don't have to produce results. I mean, that's a pretty nice thing, a nice system, I guess.
I mean, would there be no competition just looking at like a global marketplace country to country?
I mean, you can't say there's no innovation, right? Like, I can't say there's no innovation. I mean, even when, like Russia was operating much less efficiently than the U.S., I mean, they still beat us to outer space. They put a man in outer space before us. And the thing is, it's just inefficient, and it was terrible for the people. It's just wasteful. So I don't know. I think it should just be released.
Well, I guess we will see. This story here I just thought was kind of gross, so I kept
Gross, let's go.
Raining blood. Texas woman wakes up to neighbor's blood dripping on her face.
Oh, I think I saw this headline.
A woman is sleeping soundly in the dead of night when she suddenly wakes up. Something wet is dripping on her from above. Concerned that it might be a plumbing issue, she turns on the light and wipes her face. She looks at her hand and her eyes fly wide with terror. It's smeared with fresh blood. Sound familiar? You've probably seen a similar scene play out in a number of horror movies.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for one Texas woman, horror movies decided to literally bleed into reality. Anna Cardenas from El Paso woke up on May 11th with gore dripping into her apartment through the ceiling. Needless to say, Cardenas was slightly shocked, considering how common blood pouring from the heavens is in the apocalyptic prophecies of many world religions. She might have thought the end of days was nigh. Luckily, the world goes on. It wasn't the apocalypse, just her upstairs neighbor's vital fluids seeping into her apartment. The night before the horror began, Cardenas had gone to bed as usual in her Cielo Vista apartment. It gets pretty hot in Texas, so she had turned her ceiling fan on before hitting the hay. Around 4 a.m., Cardenas told KTSM she woke up. She could clearly hear that something was dripping somewhere. She thought it was rain, but then she realized that droplets of something were hitting her blanket and face as well. At that point, she got up to see what the noise was all about. We can only imagine how she felt when she flicked the light switch on. Her entire bedroom, along with her face and hair, were splattered with blood. It grossed me out. I was in shock. I thought, this isn't real. This is a dream. Unfortunately, this wasn't a nightmare. The blood was flowing in through the ceiling and running down her ceiling fan. When which then flung it all across the room. So it goes on, but basically the gist is like the guy upstairs had died from natural causes, and it was he was there for a couple weeks, and his body was decomposing, and it just bled through.
So he wasn't bleeding as much as he was just like leaking.
Yeah, like decomposing, and blood leaking through.
He
got through the floor.
Just leaking fluids. Ugh.
That's a good way to wake up.
That's nasty. That's worse than just blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's blood plus whatever gross decomposing fluid. Man, I swear the worst smell in the world is like dead animal. Like if you're driving down the road and there's a dead animal, you get that smell and it's just like so overpowering.
Yeah, we're designed to be very repulsed by that smell.
I'm repulsed by sneezes. That smell of a sneeze, like it's all like
a
sweet
stink sneeze.
No, it's like,
I've had stink sneezes before.
What are stink sneezes?
Where you just like sneeze and it's just like it smells awful. Like there's.
I guess so. Yeah. Maybe like
I don't know if it's like bacteria or like.
Dad gets those sometimes. They're really bad.
Like I haven't had one of those in a long time, but I have had them before.
I have had them before, but it's been a long time.
I had a cousin who visited from New Jersey just this last week, and he was telling us that the whole state of New Jersey smells like that. Like he had somebody visit, and they described it to him. Like this guy was from Michigan. He was like, "Yeah, it's like somebody sneezed in front of you, and you're just walking through it throughout the whole New Jersey
all day."
Yeah.
You get used to it.
Sounds horrible. I'd never want that.
Everybody shits on New Jersey, and you got to wonder if it's warranted or not. It probably is. But
well, he told me that like on the way to New Jersey from New York, like there's a bunch of dumps. So like New York dumps all their shit in New Jersey, and that's why they get clowned on so much by like New Yorkers and stuff.
I remember one time like Conan did a bit where he was just like really shitting on New Jersey, like with all these jokes, and then like. I don't know if it was a senator in New Jersey or like a mayor of a city over there or something, but they tweeted or something that, well, maybe we'll put you on the no-fly list so you can't fly into New Jersey or something like that. And then he was like, well, I guess I'll get to New Jersey the way everybody else does, through a series of poor decisions.
Yeah, they kind of opened the door on themselves.
Yeah, you can't be like, oh, you can't come to New Jersey. You know you're going to get jumped.
Oh, man. All right. AJ, it's your turn again. I'll send it back to you.
All right, this one just, the guy reminds me of like a Silicon Valley bro. He's such a douchebag, this guy. All right. California Tesla driver arrested while riding in backseat. A motorist was arrested after an officer observed him in the backseat of a Tesla traveling on a San Francisco Bay Area freeway, the California Highway Patrol said. Param Sharma, 25, was arrested for alleged reckless driving and disobeying a police officer, the Highway Patrol said in a statement Tuesday. Multiple 911 calls made Monday evening reported a person sitting in the back seat of a Tesla Model 3 without anyone in the driver's seat while the vehicle traveled on Interstate 80 across the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge. A Highway Patrol motorcycle officer spotted the Tesla, confirmed the solo occupant was in the back seat, took action to stop the car, and saw the occupant move to the driver's seat before the car stopped. Prior to this arrest, members of this public have captured video of someone resembling Sharma operating its vehicle in the same reckless manner, and the CHP's Oakland area has cited Sharma on April 27th for similar behavior. KTVU television station reported that Sharma said in an interview that riding in the backseat isn't dangerous and he will continue to do it. I'm going to get in the backseat right now, you feel me? I'm waiting for my car to charge. Elon Musk really knows what he's doing, and I think people are tripping and they're scared. KTVU reported that Sharma characterized himself as being above blue-collar world. I don't drive, I don't fill up gas, I am a gold collar. Like... What? The thinking of this person, like, clearly he has, like, a very fragile view of himself, like, if that's what it's based on. You know, like, oh, I'm great because I drive a Tesla. That makes me a gold collar person. I don't pump my own gas. Like, come on, man. I don't know. This guy just sounds like a total douchebag to me.
Man, when they do finally get, driverless cars going, people are just going to be fucking in cars all the time.
Yeah.
I'd just be
public-
sleeping everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be on my phone.
Like people in fucking LA have a 6-hour commute. Yeah, you sleep on the road.
Yeah, like if you had like a really long destination and you could just like set it and forget it, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, screw anything else.
I mean, I guess you would have to have it stop for recharging every now and again.
Yeah.
Well, for the electric ones, I mean, there's going to be gas self-driving as well. But
I don't think there's going to be a ton of them. I think by the time they get fully automized or
electric cars aren't coming
automated.
that fast.
You don't think so?
Everybody's making them now.
I mean, everybody's making them, but especially for like long haul stuff, it's like no, there's not.
But I mean, like, they'll probably set up more like EV stations and stuff, right?
Yeah, but you don't want to take like a 10-hour trip and like pull over in the middle and sit there for an hour or 2 hours or however long it takes. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But if it costs like $10 to fill up compared to like 50, then you might for an hour at least.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I mean, some of them they're still free, right? They like you go parking in special places and they have free.
Yeah, I think so.
Like you go to the grocery store, they'll have free stations or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's fairly convenient. Let's say, yeah, you're on a road trip, and if you go to like a restaurant, let's say they have it, then you can always just... That'd be convenient.
Plug it in and eat
Mhm.
and go. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Speaking though of like having sex in cars, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like those. You know how they have like those porn videos where like people fucking cars. I don't know what that gives me anxiety. Like I don't even want to watch that shit. Like it's just like passing by other cars and shit. There's just something like weird about it. I'm like, I don't like this. Are they gonna get pulled over by a cop? Like what's? I don't know. I don't know.
That'd be a great obituary.
Sex in cars sucks. I tried it. It's so cramped
awkward,
in there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's awkward. It's just people who do it have never done it before. You know, that's where it is.
Well, I want to say Italy. Like apparently, it's really hard to buy real estate. It's super expensive, and so like a lot of young people live with their parents, and so pretty much that's what you do. You go out and you have sex in cars and you park or whatever. But there was like some statistic, and it was something crazy like half of new babies are like conceived in cars or something.
Jeez.
I'd have to look it up. I don't remember.
So I mean, that's
number,
happening everywhere. Like where people are staying at home now with their parents because of expensive real estate and stuff.
Yeah, I think it depends where you're at. I mean, when we were in Texas, it was relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive here in Portland.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it just depends where you're at.
Yeah, I think statistically, like people have been like living with their parents longer, and for like economic reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, there are definitely times I think it makes a lot of sense, but
I saw a statistic maybe on Twitter or something the other day where it was like, it said like, I don't know if it was millennials or the generation before millennials, but it was like saying that at age 40, like this age group had this percent of wealth, and then like millennials had this percent of wealth, and like Gen Z or whatever the next gen is, like it's like predicting that when they're 40, they'll have like this percentage of the wealth or something, and it just like goes down dramatically.
yeah, I don't really trust like news projections of mathematical things, but
I mean, like the ones they can, or maybe it was just millennials compared to the, because I'm technically like on the older side of millennial, and I'm nearing 40. So like maybe it was millennials compared to like what Gen X was that your generation?
I don't remember.
I don't remember if it's Gen Y or Gen X, I think. But anyway, like that one's more measurable. They don't have to like go off as much. And yeah, like it's less, like quite a bit less percentage of the wealth.
Yeah,
It just like shows that it's going more and more to the top, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of TikTok videos about millennials talking about how hard it is to get a house these days and stuff, you know? I think 30, 40 years ago, they compare like the economy to now, from now compared to then, and it was much easier to get a house like in the 80s.
Like when you were a kid, though, when you're like, because millennials are like what, 20 years old?
Millennials are
Like,
like
I mean, it takes
30s.
it takes a little time to get the momentum enough to have a decent enough job to buy a house.
I think the millennial like started at 1980.
Yeah.
Okay, I just missed it.
Yeah, I think you're like Gen X or whatever. But you know, like when people think of the word millennial, like, you know,
I think like 2000.
Yeah, you think younger.
but you don't like I feel like a lot of the characteristics associated with millennials don't really describe me, but that probably is because I'm like on the older side of millennial.
So what's after millennials?
Gen
Gen
Z.
Z.
Oh, Z.
Yeah, and I think that maybe starts at 2000.
Oh, the Gen Z. That's a good fit for the trans movement. The Zeds.
I don't know. I don't know how they come up with these
Probably
different
more now than ever. Just A, B, C, D. They go all the way down. And now I don't know what they're going to do after Z. Z1?
Who knows?
AA?
ZA. But millennials skip that naming convention, right?
No, they're Gen Y.
Oh yeah, there was a Gen Y, right?
Oh, millennials and Gen Y is like the same thing.
That's my understanding. I'm not 100%
Okay.
sure.
Oh, that could be. I never really thought
God,
about
this is a terrible thread.
it. Well, pick us up. Manifesto. round
Okay, I
four.
think I'm gonna make this my my last maybe.
Yeah, we're about at time, anyways.
Russian defense minister announces plan to resurrect a 3,000-year-old Scythian army through cloning.
We're gonna have the Clone Wars.
But he's got some kind of like strange quotes. So apparently, like archaeologists, they've been, digging up graves and stuff in Siberia for a while now, and there's warriors and some of them buried with horses and stuff. But yeah, it sounds like maybe he's having ideas of cloning them, and it's just I don't know.
What are
Let's read
Scythian? What are Scythian warriors?
So
Apparently,
that's,
people who lived in Siberia.
well, those are
Oh.
people who lived like all the way from like Eastern Europe all the way down to like almost like North India. Like, so these people like were all like tribal, and they like did warfare on horseback and stuff, and they traveled throughout like a large region. But that's why that was interesting to me what you just said. Scythians, like, I think a lot of people could trace like something back
Some
to
lineage.
them.
So, I don't want to get too deep into it, but here's a quote. Of course, we would like very much to find the organic matter, and I believe you understand what would follow that, he said. It would be possible to make something of it, if not Dolly the sheep. In general, it will be very interesting.
Who is this guy
He's a defense minister. What's his name?
in Russia?
Yeah, defense minister in Russia. Sergei Shoigu. Which his last name sounds almost Chinese or something.
Sergey, though, that's a very Russian.
Very
name.
Russian, yeah. But yeah, it just sounds like there's some kind of weird thought process going on with this guy.
Yeah, I mean, if he's trying to get an army, he's going to end up with like villagers from Seven Samurai who are just like hitting with sticks and stuff. Don't know. I mean, because like,
I mean, I'm guessing if you did like something like that they'd be surprisingly similar.
yeah, they would.
You'd just be like, oh, this is a Johnny
Yeah.
Sergey 14.
But if they need like an expendable army, I guess.
If you want an army,
Well, I
get
mean, it's not going to be
cavemen.
cheap to clone people and raise them from babies. It's got to be much more expensive than just having babies.
Yeah, but you don't see your own babies as expendable.
It's not as cool.
Yeah, that's not as cool.
Yeah.
Plus, they're going to give them little, stormtrooper outfits.
Right.
So would they clone them like they would start out as children, or would they just be like straight up adults?
Well, I guess you have like those sci-fi where they just grow people in tanks.
Yeah.
Oh, like Matrix.
But then they don't have any like brains or working or anything. They're just like vegetables.
Take their organs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Put some Elon Musk implant in there.
Well, they might as well, clone some dinosaurs, and these guys will ride like dinosaur back bows.
There are definitely some extinct animals that they could be bringing back. So
Yeah, didn't you say like the woolly mammoth or something?
woolly mammoths, they have well-preserved species, so that one I think will probably happen someday.
I want to see woolly mammoth.
Yeah,
I'd like
I'd love to
woolly
see
mammoth.
that.
So yeah, there's that one. There's like woolly rhinoceroses. There's I don't know. There's a whole bunch of different ones. There's a lot of megafauna that went extinct.
Everything woolly.
A lot of woolies.
I feel like humans messed them up because, like, in the last few thousand years, they disappeared, right?
Yeah, like around 10,000 years ago, there was a big extinction of like the megafauna and stuff. So presumably
Humans were the assholes.
humans were eating them. So
Yeah.
Should we do one conversation card to go out on?
all
Let's
right,
do it.
better not suck.
See if it's a good one. If you could be famous for 3 things, what would you want them to be?
Dong size.
Yeah.
Money.
And intelligence.
Intelligence is a good one.
Maybe funny
Yeah, that's
instead of intelligence.
2 dongs.
Well, it says 3 things.
Yeah, but I want money.
Oh, okay. 2 dongs and money.
I guess if you got 3 dongs, you could make some money.
Yeah,
I mean, if you got 2 dongs, you could make some money.
yeah.
Make some good money with 2 dongs. He got
They
that.
gotta be-
He got that 2 dong money.
They gotta be distanced right, though. Are they on your hips so you can just go like this?
Oh, yeah, placement. You gotta think ahead here.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you want them to where you can get one in the pink, one in the stink?
But then you could have like an optional third
Yeah.
somewhere. The unicorn.
There would definitely be some interesting videos. Look at all that blurriness.
They must be going.
That's
wild.
the genie's catch. It's always blurry.
The one guy with 2 dicks had to be Japanese. Damn it. There are women with 2 vaginas.
Yeah, there's dudes with 2 dicks too.
Oh, really?
They can't both function.
If you
though.
could just put those hands together.
I actually listened to a podcast, and the guy said like he actually once dated a woman with the 2 vaginas, and he said they were like both working, and they fooled around with both, and
Yeah, just switch it up, keep them tight.
I don't know. I don't think I'm too impressed by 2 vaginas. Just be like, all right, there's an extra one.
Yeah.
more work for me.
Like, I don't have enough fingers for this.
You gotta work your mouth twice as hard.
You really got to juggle. Oh man.
Well,
All right.
Going out on a high note.
All right. Well, if you will, comment down below and let us know what 3 things you want to be famous for. I think we already know at least 2 of them. But yeah, go ahead. Please give us a like, subscribe, give us a positive review on your podcast service of choice. And why not, just for the fun of it, follow us on Twitter and tweet stupid shit at us. AJ, where can people find you on the Twitter?
At a name for this too, and that's the number 2.
And Lester?
At unsolicited SUG.
And you can find me at Zach Jones Live. That's ZachJonesLive. And that's going to do it for all of our shenanigans and poppycock this week. Please, please, please tune in again next week. Bye, guys.
Take care.